Alright everyone, it's time for Occult Literature, video number 127, Mesmerism, Spiritualism, Witchcraft, and Miracles by Alan Putnam. 62 pages long, so it's a booklet, but it's, large enough for a good read. Link in the description as always to my edition of this work on Amazon, second link to my books blog on Blogspot, third to my blog on WordPress. They have the same content. It's just basically if you don't want to use a Google service or, something else happens, you can use the WordPress. This is an interesting booklet, especially for its short but interesting treatise on the Salem witch trials. That is, this author says, well, I'm a spiritualist. I've tested these various mesmerists and mediums and found this to be true, and spirits do communicate with the living. It's sort of a little bit like Theosophy half a century before Theosophy, in that the claim is made, a new age is upon us, like the age of the telegraph. The spirits now have gained the ability to communicate, because after a long time of spiritual darkness, finally, people are receptive enough, and apparently there was a case where a little girl was like talking to spirits through tapping and clicking sounds and stuff, so they sort of extrapolated this to a spiritualist movement. According to Putnam, the Salem witch trials was a case of spirits were communicating through people who were essentially involuntary mediums, and they were taken as possessed by the population. Now, this non-rationalistic explanation is not exactly mainstream, but it's interesting anyway. It's an interesting read. And there are other people that have claimed that throughout time. Oh, they were actually witches, but they weren't like devil worshippers or something. It talks a little bit about the concept of miracles in the strictest Christian sense, as it overlaps with spiritualism. And it talks about mesmerism slightly apart from the concept of hypnotism. Here it's talking mostly about spirit, like channeling, mediums, and things like that. And he's convinced that they're largely true. Of course, later on, they were generally considered to be fraudulent. I myself, putting my own opinion into this, apart from the work, I don't believe in mediumship, generally speaking, in that sense. I think that stuff is usually a hoax to make money or get attention or something. But he claims to have had these experiences, and does drag out a bunch of anecdotes to illustrate what he calls the 7 rounds, ladder rounds, rungs we would call them today, of mesmerism, the 7 sort of stages of that power manifesting. And for that purpose, this work is actually, it's quite interesting to have such a categorical system. I'm not sure that I've encountered that anywhere else, actually. So again, link in the description of my edition of this work on Amazon, second and third links respectively to my Blogspot and WordPress, which have the same content. Still working on the WordPress, got to figure out how to put the tabs on the side for the categories. But it's definitely an interesting work, definitely. If you're interested in, if you've got a general interest in Salem, I think that particular section will be of great interest to you. If you're interested in sort of pre-theosophical spiritualism, certainly definitely a worthy read. That's about all. Peace out.